Hello and welcome to another Bearded Geek toy review. In today's episode, we're going back in time to 1984 to meet Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. All the world is waiting for you and the power you possess. In your satin tights, fighting for your rights and the old red, white, and blue. Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. Now the world is ready for you, and the wonders you can do. Make the heart get dumb, stop the war with love, make the light tell it true. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman. All our hopes are pinned on you and the magic that you do. Stop a bullet cold, make the ashes cold, change your mind and change the world. Wonder Woman.
Welcome back to a bearded, bespectacled geek toy review. Yes, some of you may have noticed I am wearing glasses now. Only for reading purposes, so in some of the videos I will be wearing them in case I need to read some of the very small print that you find on packaging of whatever we're reviewing. But let's crack on. In this episode we're going to be concentrating on the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse range, in particular the recent figure of Wonder Woman from the recently released and fresh on Blu-ray this week, Wonder Woman 1984, starring Gal Gadot as the Amazonian superhero, directed by Patty Jenkins again. A sequel to 2017's excellent Wonder Woman, and obviously she made her debut in the previous year's 2016's Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice. So here's the packaging. So it's very simple. McFarlane Toys at the top, 22 points of articulation in the corner there, 12 plus it says there. I actually think, kids under that age can play with these if they want to. The DC Multiverse logo and Wonder Woman there. Not much on the sides, but on the back we get a image of Gal Gadot. I always thought it was Gal Gadot, but apparently it's Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman 1984. And one of the bonuses that you do get with these packs is you get a trading card with some information on the character with the figure, and it's always based on the back image here. And then obviously what we've got here is we've got some other examples of the other figures that you can get in the range. So let's get her cracked open and have a close look at the figure. Now the first thing you notice when you take the figure out of the box is, like you said, there's the trading card on the back. It's moulded as part of the packaging, so you will have to cut that to open it up. And we also get a nice little stand there with the DC logo on, which I'll probably be getting out later to obviously have the figure on display. Nice little image making up the back of the packaging, which is all various different covers of DC Comics throughout the years. But let's put that aside and concentrate on the figure.
The brakes still work.
So here she is, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, as appearing in the latest movie, Wonder Woman 1984, which in some areas did get really bad reviews and quite unfairly maligned. Yes, you know, it's always best to make up your own mind with movies. But one of our friends, who's I will describe as the biggest DC fan ever, Cheryl, basically said, "Don't bother with the film; it's a load of rubbish." And we were really quite surprised when she said that. So I still bought it on Blu-ray because I wanted to see it, and I hadn't got round to actually renting it from for streaming purposes, because obviously it went straight to streaming over here in the UK because cinemas are currently closed due to lockdown restrictions. So we didn't get it Christmas week as originally planned. But we watched it the other night, and me, my partner, and my son Zack, we all really enjoyed it. We thought it was really good. Didn't think it was as good as the first film, but it's a really enjoyable film, and it's kind of like a throwback to the 1980s. It's very, very steeped in the 1980s, and the opening sequence is essentially a homage to the beginning title sequence of Superman 3 with Christopher Reeve, where Superman is walking along Metropolis and happens to be rescuing all these people, and all these other things happen, and one event leads to another, and that kind of happens at the beginning of this film, but in a shopping mall, which is very, very 80s, obviously. But I thought it was a fun sequence. I thought it was a fun film. It didn't have as much weight as the first film, which obviously was set during the First World War. But yeah, really, really enjoyed it. So, again, make up your own mind if regarding the film. But check it out if you want to check it out. But in the meantime, let's have a look at this figure. Now, it does come with two accessories, which are essentially the same. It comes with the lasso of truth, one of them unravelled, and one of them all kind of like bunched up, and there is a little peg on the side of the figure for you to hang that particular version of the lasso of truth, or you can have her posed with the unfurled lasso. But let's get her out of the packaging properly and have a more closer look, especially at that stunning face sculpt. And here's the trading card as well that you get with the figure, showing the image on the back of the packaging. And then also what we've got on there is a little data file about the character. So when she's from, Wonder Woman, Diana, Princess of Themyscira, or Diana Prince, and then a brief outline of the character. So nice little addition that you get. Not essential, but still probably nice to collect if you're getting the rest of the figures in the range. Now, the first thing that strikes me when I get this figure out of the packaging, and she was very tightly packed in there, virtually moulded into the outer packaging, is just how tall this figure is. Essentially, obviously probably in scale with the characters, but she's literally just over 7 inches there. You can see there. And just to give you a bit of a context of the scale, here is my Christopher Reeve NECA action figure. Now, he's in the 6-inch scale, and obviously he's absolutely dwarfed by Wonder Woman there. So that does pose a bit of a problem if I was going to have Wonder Woman stood between Batman and Superman, because they'd look absolutely tiny compared to the Amazonian. So we'll just take Chris Reeve out of the equation there. We might have to put her somewhere else. But again, it's a great figure. Now, a bit of context for you. McFarlane Toys haven't had the DC license all that long. The DC license has traditionally been held by Mattel Toys, who held it up until the end of 2019, I believe. And then McFarlane Toys, which are run by the comic creator, writer, artist, famous for creating Spawn, Todd McFarlane, who set up his toy company in the mid-1990s when basically he wasn't happy with any of the proposals from toy companies when he was touting around his Spawn character to be made into a toy line. So he decided to set up his own company, and that company has just gone from success to success. It was one of the first companies that really pioneered realistic face sculpts for action figures. And obviously all the other toy companies have since followed suit when they saw just how successful McFarlane was. He did a lot of movie-related action figures in the mid-90s, early 2000s, related to, like, RoboCop, Terminator franchises, lots of horror franchises, very realistic face sculpts, aliens, so the fact that he's now got the DC line just says that he's going to be really, really good, because the Mattel kind of figures were very kind of like toyetic, as you were. They looked like toys, whereas these effectively, yeah, they're an action figure, but they do look like a mini statue in effect. So let's have a closer look, so you can just see there just how good that likeness is of Gal Gadot. Now, I can't work out whether this is similar to Hasbro's face printing technology, but if it is, where they use a digital face print on the sculpt to make it look more like the actual actor in person, that's still impressive. That is really, really good. That's probably one of the best likenesses I've seen outside of the Star Wars Black Series range. Obviously, no offense to Chris there. Yes, you look absolutely amazing too. So, wealth of detail on the outfit. Now, sometimes you do get a bit of a thing with, obviously, a character that does show quite a lot of skin, because you can't get around the fact that you've got these kind of joints and pins in there, but they do make a good job of hiding them. So I'm just really impressed with this figure. And I got it for a good price. These retail for $19.99 usually online, everywhere, but for some reason Smith's Toys have marked them up at $9.99. Now, I'm not aware if that's a promotion, or if it's a genuine mistake, or if they've just put them in a sale. They don't say that they're reduced, but for $9.99 you really can't go wrong. So it may be a case that if I do see other figures in the line that I like, unfortunately I may be collecting another figure line, much to the wails and moans of my partner, who probably says, we haven't got any more room for them. But I just have to shift stuff around. Well, let's get her holding the lasso of truth and see what she looks like in a couple of poses. So there we have, we've got her holding the lasso of truth in a bit of an action pose. Now, what I did is I did have to get out the stand that comes with the figure, as you can see there, with the DC logo on it, just purely because she was having a couple of issues standing up. Well, that's a really good kind of action pose there. It is a shame that she doesn't come with any other accessories, but again, I'm not quibbling for the price point that I got her at. But I presume if she was $19.99 usually, then perhaps it would be great if she came with the sword and the shield as well. Let's just put that. Now, as you can see, there's a little hook there, and we can hang the lasso of truth on there. So you can have her with both accessories, lasso of truth hung from her belt, and also holding the lasso of truth in a kind of action pose there. But yeah, really good figure. Very, very impressed with this. I haven't seen any other figures in the DC Multiverse range that are Batman, Superman related linked to the movies. So there's none based on Ben Affleck or Henry Cavill's likenesses, but I have seen them based on the comic book versions and the video game versions of Batman and Superman. So I'm going to have a look around and see what I can get and see if any of those figures do appeal to me. And if I do, I'll probably pick them up and I'll do a future review on them, and then we can see what the figures look like all together, because, you know, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman are what they call the holy trinity of comic book heroes for the DC universe. And this is a really good figure. If you can get it for the $19.99 online price point, yeah, it's really good. But I would recommend that you check out your local Smiths, who are still doing click and collect, or they're also doing home delivery if we're still in restrictions. And if you can pick this up for $9.99, then this really is a bargain. But this is an absolutely great figure, well recommended, and it's a valuable addition to my collection. I'm going to be looking forward to seeing where she goes, even if she isn't going to go next to tiny little Superman. Okay, thanks for watching. Well, I really hope you like that video, and if you do, please leave a like, because it really does help out the algorithm and the channel with YouTube and the way that they register everything. If you haven't subscribed already, then please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever we load up new videos. So look out for that one as well, and in the meantime, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.
Life is good, but it can be better.